G'day, I'm Troy, and this is the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today we're going to take a gander at The Sub-Mariner, the 1966 cartoon series on DVD. And we're going to try and answer the question, is this just King Arthur underwater? Let's get into it. The Sub-Mariner is an animated superhero cartoon that went for one season, containing 13 episodes with a runtime of 21 minutes each. The cartoon was part of an umbrella series called the Marvel Superheroes, a half-hour program made up of 3 7-minute segments of a single superhero. The show also featured cartoons of 4 other heroes: the Incredible Hulk, the Invincible Iron Man, the Mighty Thor, and Captain America. It debuted in syndication on US television from the 1st of September 1966 through to the 1st of December 1966. The cartoon was released on DVD as a 2-disc set only in the UK by Maximum Entertainment on the 21st of May 2007, with no Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. The TV show was produced by Grantray-Lawrence Animation and Marvel Comics Group and was distributed by Krantz Films. Okay, as you can see, this is very basic, very plain. This is the French version, which I didn't know when I bought it actually, but there is an English version exactly like this, so we'll just work off this. The spine, it's very plain as well. There's not a real lot going on here. And the back, as you can see, very simple, very thrown together, not a real lot of effort put into this. Now we look inside, it's just more of a cardboard, see, it's just more of a cardboardy cover. And the disc, well, that's got a picture, but this one's just a plain black disc, so there's nothing really going on there. At least it's got the episodes here, which is good, but all in French. Anyway, look, this isn't exactly one of the standouts of the series, but then again, it's in this packaging. I think I've got the Jet X one up here. That's way better. If you're looking for a better cover, I'd go with that one. Anyway, for this one, because I'm reviewing this one, I'm only going to give this a 5 out of 10. So we're now into show 4 of the 5 shows, and one thing you notice is that each show either has like a theme or a story checklist, if you will, that kind of has to be ticked off as the episode goes along. So for this show, it's about as close as you're going to get to the Tales of King Arthur, with it out being King Arthur, if you know what I mean, with having some key plot points that are almost in every episode. With 1, Namor is the true leader of Atlantis or of noble blood. 2, Namor and Dorma's undying love for each other. 3, his leadership of Atlantis is challenged or lost. 4, he must go on a quest to save the day. Which almost every episode has all 4 or at least 3 of those key plot points in them. Now, the stories themselves end up becoming very formulaic when you start using that structure of those 4 key points. And the cartoon feels more like, how can I put it, a political medieval drama and less of a superhero show.
Now, personally, I couldn't care less about your politics.
Don't get me wrong, if that's what you're looking for, then this is the cartoon for you. But that's not what I signed up for. I signed up for a superhero show, and that is not what I got. This is definitely the, shall we say, the odd man out of these shows. But that, look, that doesn't make it bad, like a bad show. It just makes it different. So look, for this, I'm only going to give this a score of 12 out of 30. As I've mentioned before in my previous videos about these other series, the stories and the artwork were all lifted straight from the comics at the time. Though this one really did surprise me, as the level of animation compared to, say, with the other ones we've seen so far is so much better. I can't describe it. Like, you can really tell the difference, as this is it makes it easier to watch too. It seems like this animation seemed to help the pacing of the show.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, did a good job.
Though it was the repetitive nature of the stories that kind of end up letting it down. Now, the look of the show is very much a medieval King Arthur underwater vibe, with all the Atlanteans dressing in like this form of middle age type sort of get up, with everyone talking in a very Shakespearean way.
But sire, the human race has ever tried to slay thee.
How speaks the Grand Vizier, my Lord Vashti?
And let's not forget the fact that our three main characters in this cartoon mimic the three main characters in King Arthur, with Namor as King Arthur, Lady Dorma as Guinevere, and Lord Vashti as Merlin. And as you can see by this, Vashti, oh, holy Christ, he's a dead ringer for Merlin, not only in looks, but in character in the show.
Boy, the resemblance is uncanny.
Now, the voice cast, well, it was not too bad, and I'll have the list up here for you, but you will notice, as I did straight away in the first episode, that Namor is voiced by John Vernon, aka, you guessed it, Iron Man. And even though with the whole Shakespearean dialogue, you can kind of still hear Iron Man sneak through, which can kind of throw you from time to time. Anyway, look, it was a good job with some little rough edges, but I'm going to give this a 16 out of 20. So this is not really a surprise to you or really anyone else, but yeah, no special features. Anyway, just the episodes, nothing else. And I've had a look out there to see if there's anything on the internet, and I couldn't find anything on YouTube. So there is nothing. And anyway, because we're reviewing the DVD and there's nothing here, I can only give it the usual score of, that's right, 0 out of 10. Now, the critic score, hey, guess what? 0%. And the audience score, 0%. As usual, nothing on Rotten Tomatoes. But anyway, IMDb to the rescue yet again. And it comes through with a score of 6.5 out of 10, which is on par with Captain America, which, I think that's about right, and I think that's fair. So if we round it up, we're going to get a score of 6 out of 10. So for me, this is the first time I've watched Namor, as I didn't even know this one existed until I started collecting comic book movies many moons ago. As I never saw this one on TV as a kid, and I never really saw anything about it like out in the general media, shall we say. So I was interested to see how this would fit in with the other Marvel superhero shows, and I quickly found out it doesn't fit in with the rest of the shows.
It looks like you're the odd man out.
It had a very different vibe and story to the rest of them, as Namor was more about being a political medieval drama than about being a superhero fighting supervillains.
He is not a superhero, Mommy.
So look, I'm kind of surprised that this is one of the shows that they made for this cartoon series, as I can't imagine the kids that were watching the Marvel superhero show at that time were looking for this type of story of a prince who has this underwater royal political drama going on, as opposed to wanting to watch superheroes. Anyway, for me, they drove home the same plot points over and over and over again in the eps, and it started to get really boring. So for me, this probably wasn't the most entertaining show out of the 5.
Boring.
Now, as I've mentioned before, I do have the French version, so I'm not sure about the English DVD, but oh my god, let's have a look at the episodes, and Christ, these are so out of whack, it's ridiculous. I don't know how you could follow a story on here at all. The thing is a bloody dog's breakfast. So there's the list of what you should have and how you should watch them. Anyway, with that, look, I'm only going to give this a score of 8 out of 20. So as usual, first up is collectability, and if we look on the collector scale, I would say this would be for your comic book geeking up, as it really is something only for your serious collectors or for someone with that bit of nostalgia value. Now, as far as availability goes on this one, I'm going to put this one on the very rare side of things, as this would be probably the hardest one to get out of the 5. You're really going to have to try and track it down, as there is not that many copies out there for sale as of the time of this video. As far as your average price goes, you're looking at anywhere between, I think the cheapest I could find was $70, all the way up through to $160, which is a little cheaper than some of the others, even though this is the hardest one to get. just on DVD. So it does pay to search around if you want to get yourself a decent price, but of course, as usual, there is nothing on Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 47 out of 100. That's probably not one of the best scores so far, but look, I think it's fair nonetheless. So, we asked the question, is this just King Arthur underwater? Holy Christ, this is exactly what this show was. It was a kid's cartoon focused on the trials, tribulations, and pressures of being a prince of noble blood and the ruler of an underwater kingdom.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, so if you like this video and you want to see some more reviews, why don't you go check out that one there? Or maybe you want to see some of my collection updates. Hey, I've got you covered too. Why don't you check out that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing for me. Give that bat like a hit. Don't forget to hit that subscription button. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.